Hello everybody and welcome back again. In this video I'm gonna talk about the ATP World Tour Finals Day 1 match reviews. The first match was between Novak Djokovic and Matteo Berrettini. A very comfortable win for Novak. He won 6-2, 6-1 and broke the huge Italian's serve 5 times. And even though Matteo got many first serve percentages in, I think he was around 70%. There was no deep or length or angles in that serve, and we all know that Novak is the best returner in the world, so he used that advantage to himself instead. So basically that means that Matteo Berrettini couldn't benefit from his big serve against a rock-solid returner like Novak, and he used different tactics to neutralize his serve, and especially his big forehand, which eventually cost him 12 unforced errors, and that's a very high number for a big weapon that he possesses, because it's his second biggest weapon after his huge serve. But we all know you can't win over Novak with average game, especially when you're depending on your big serve and your forehand ground stroke that's gonna execute and give you 3 points. But in that case, he was never in this match, actually, to be honest. I watched that match. He was maybe taken by the heat of the moment, but there was really no doubt about who was the best player. Novak played clean, solid, attacking defensive from the baseline. He moved Berrettini from corner to corner, and eventually, since he is not a superb baseliner, the young Italian guy, it eventually cost him the match, which was more than expected in advance, because we all know Novak was a huge favorite in this match, and he fulfilled that expectation by any means. And he's looking solid here, as we all expected. We know that Novak is here to win. He doesn't want to drop any points. He has Rafa to think about in the ATP year-end race and the number spot in the ranking, of course. That makes this tournament more fierce, more competitive, even though when these big players entering big tournaments, they always have the mindset to win the tournament. But in this case, it's a little bit extra. It's the last tournament of the year. They want to end the tournament and the year in a fashion. They want to lift another big trophy. So Novak is the man to beat, like I told you in my preview before, and nothing changes that, again, especially against the match he played yesterday. He will now take on Dominic Thiem in the next round, on tomorrow actually, and it's gonna be an interesting battle there. Alright, that was about Novak's match against Matteo Berrettini. I'm gonna make this video a little bit shorter because I'm at work. I have to go work in a little while. But on to Federer's match against Dominic Thiem. Before the match, Federer was a favorite, of course, but he trailed 4-2 in head-to-head section, and Thiem has beaten him on every surfaces, and he has beaten him. It's the third time he beats Roger this year. He beat him at Indian Wells when he won his first Masters title. He later beat Roger in the quarter of the clay tournament in Madrid, the Masters there. And then he beat Roger yesterday in a superb performance, a clean performance by Dominic Thiem. He played brilliant, and he's solid from the baseline, as we all know. He barely makes any unforced errors anymore, like he did before, when the number sometimes are very huge, because he hits hard, he swings, and that automatically gives you smaller margins but when he hit the ball clean, it's barely impossible to fight back. Only grinders like Novak and Nadal are capable of rallying, especially on clay, with Dominic Thiem. But anyway, he uses the whole court yesterday. He used the whole court to move Federer around. He didn't give Federer any time to breathe, to play his first strike tennis. Because in the beginning of the match, he broke Roger early in the first game. And then he was up 2-1. And then Roger took 3 straight games. And they were leveled up to 5-5. And then Roger made 2 critical mistakes, in my opinion. He tried to take the ball on the rise 2 times and failed with his backhand. And that eventually cost him the game there. Dominic Thiem broke him and won the first set. It was a tight set. I think they won equally 33 points in the first set. And in the match totally, Thiem won 5 more points than Roger Federer. So Roger didn't make a terrible match, but he didn't do a superb match either. So you can basically say it was a mix between some good tennis and some bad tennis. And when Roger plays like that against a guy like Thiem that has improved a lot this year, he has won 5 titles in Indian Wells, in Barcelona, in Kitzbühel, in Vienna, and in Beijing. And 3 of those titles are outside clay, so he's not a clay court specialist that some people say you will have problem, because he's only trailing against a guy like Thiem in the head-to-head stats. If you have seen his match, last time he won against Thiem was at the ATP Finals 2018 last year, and he lost his first match there also against Kei Nishikori, and then went on to win against Thiem, and finally Kevin Anderson. But this time Roger had made it 2-way difficult for himself. Now he would probably beat Matteo, but then he has a Novak. And Novak, it depends on how a match against Thiem goes. If he wins against Thiem, he can play more relaxed, but he's here to collect every point he can. So it's an upper hill for Roger. And Thiem can probably secure his place his first place in the semifinal if he wins against Matteo Berrettini, which he should be the main overwhelming favorite in that match. Nothing else will change it after his performance against Roger. So Roger tried to play his game. The purpose with his game was to give Thiem a little less time to execute his huge forehand and his backhand grand strokes. And Roger lost this match, as usual when he loses, when he doesn't play terrific tennis. He loses the match. 1, his returns. 2, his backhand. And 3, winning percentage of his second serves. That number was a little bit lower today. I haven't looked at the stats number so much, because after the match I just went to crash to bed. But the little thing I know is that Thiem's second service point win were almost equal as his first percentage serving winning, and that's a huge, because he has a terrific second serve, like I told you in my preview. He has a kick serve. It bites better on clay than on hard court and fast indoor surfaces. We all know that. But Thiem has improved all the year, because he has won 5 titles. I think that's most together, maybe with Rafa, or probably he has won most titles this year. But anyway, he's a guy that I improve his baseline game, where he doesn't make so much unforced error that he used to do, and he has adapted the fast course more. He has learned to play smarter. His movement has been better, and his new trainer, the former Chilean tennis player, Nicolas Masso, has done a great job in my opinion. I think he won his biggest title with him, and it was at Indian Wells earlier this year. So we will see more of a Dominic Thiem in the future. He is a force to count on. But Federer, when he plays like this, even though he didn't play that bad, he played average, in my opinion. Because Dominic Thiem, he served superb today in the match against Roger Federer, and he didn't let Federer approach the net too often. He made him rally, and when he rallies against a guy like Federer, who has a weak backhand, that has improved. Of course, is not that it's super weak, but it's where that's the first place where he leaks unforced error. But anyway, big congratulations to Dominic Thiem and his team, and we'll see. He'll probably will win against Matteo Berrettini, where he will be the overwhelming favorite. Matteo, who has reached 8 semifinals this year, maybe was caught up in the heat of the moment. We will see if he have another strategy, because he was closing off beating Dominic Thiem in Vienna in the semifinal, a tight match that he should have won. This is a different kind of story now. We'll see what happened. And thanks for listening. Take care and bye-bye.